Good morning and welcome back, and congratulations, you made it to the end of the Magical Foundation series. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't pick it up, or you missed me mentioning it, that the whole Magical Foundation series was basically I picked out chapters from the two books I'd written years back in 2007, I think, and 2011. So I just wanted to pick those out and just make them into videos, explain them a bit better, add a little bit more information in. But if you enjoyed it, maybe go check out the books. You can find them on devilmademecurios.com, one of my sites. And yeah, so that brings us to the end of that series. So going forward, what I'm going to do, my whole practice has changed basically. What I've done, I've gone right back to the beginning. I came to the conclusion that every single spiritual path and every single tradition, all of the magical practice, chaos magic, ceremonial magic, even if you go into witchcraft and things like that, the basis to the whole thing is about, well, I mean, I've known it for years, but the basis really is about energy, about generating energy, moving energy, manipulating energy. But in order to do that, you need to be able to quiet your mind, be able to come into one-pointed focus. So to do that, you need to practice meditation and especially breath work. But I mean, if it depends how far you actually want to go with your practice. I mean, if you just want to do herb magic, for instance, if you want to be a kitchen witch and you just want to mess around with herbs and make potions and ointments and things like that, you know, that's one thing. But if you want to actually take your practice through to a level where you have reached enlightenment, then, you know, that's a whole different story. That's my purpose for doing these magical practice over for 25 plus whatever odd years. So yeah, to get back to my practice, so I've gone right back to the beginning and I started again with just basic meditation, and I built up again into breath work and into energy work, bringing in exercise so I can help my body, because I really have slacked off over the years. I really have slacked off. I've let my body go. I've let my fitness go. I haven't been eating properly. I really haven't been looking after myself. And if you want to actually improve in your magic, you do need to look after your entire system. It's not just about the spiritual aspect, it's also about the physical aspect, because it's all part of the same body, the same being, the same system. So if you don't look after one thing, then another thing's just going to fall off the shelf. So it is about looking after yourself, improving yourself in all manners of life, physical, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and becoming master of yourself, actually, in all aspects. So my announcement about my other website, my personal brand, leewjohnson.com. So if you go to the site, you'll find that there are free meditation classes, which I do twice on a Sunday. So there's one in the morning and one in the afternoon, or my morning and my afternoon, to try and cover all time zones. So if you go there and you do want to just do a meditation class, you know, you should be able to pick out a time that works for you. Now these meditation classes, as I say, are free. There's a little donation page, contribution page there. If you feel you want to make a contribution, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine, I don't mind. Those meditation classes are just basic meditation for anybody really who wants to come along, just learn a bit about meditation, about mindfulness, about simple breathing, breath work, you know, just things like that, and just try and find some peace of mind, just to quiet your mind. and get you out of that weekly funk, really, and reset you for the next week. But with these free meditation classes, what's going to happen is it's not a social group, definitely not a social group. So we don't come online, it's all online. We don't come online into the Zoom meeting and start chatting and discussing stuff. It's going to be straight into, hi, welcome everybody, and let's start meditating. So we just go start meditating straight away, and it will be guided meditations. And then at the end, it's thank you, have a great week, bye. End the meeting. There's no discussions, there's nothing there, because I want people to come into that meditation class expecting to find meditation, and not discussions and chatting and tea and coffee and everything else. There is a Facebook group that you can join if you want to discuss something or ask questions. And so yeah, very basic. Then on from that, what I've done, I've created a monthly membership subscription. It's $12.99 a month, and that is a bit more advanced, a bit more in depth. So I'm calling what I'm putting on there at the moment, which will probably last for at least 2-3 years, is called the Awakening Program. So it's basically the program that I've been following and will continue to follow. So we start off with just basic meditation, stillness, how to sit, and making sure that you don't tear any membranes in your knees and things like that if you're trying to get into a posture that you shouldn't be getting into. And then we go into simple breath work, just bellows breathing, yogic breath work. And I do, in that first month, the introductory series, I do go into the Kabbalistic active meditation and also the complete breath, which there are videos on the channel covering those. But I just repeat them for that introductory series. After that, we go into breath work, and that will last about 2 or 3 months. And each week I give you a new exercise to do. It's completely different exercises each week, but it does build on from the week before. So we start off with some easier stuff, and then we start progressing into more advanced breathwork techniques. Then, after that, we go into alternate nostril breathing. This becomes a very important practice for the rest of the program, because we are going to be working with the energy through the chakras, but also through Sushumna and Ida and Pingala, the nadis, or the energy centers that run up and down the spine, from the root to Ajna. And then what we're going to do, so we go into pranayama, alternate nostril breathing, and we cover that for, I think it's probably going to go on for a few months. It depends on how easy you pick it up or not. But we start very, very basic. All you do is just breathe in and out through each nostril, just basic breath. But then we start building on and building on and building on until we get to a point where we have internal or inner and outer breath retention, and we introvert. These are very good practices. I mean, the alternate nostril breathing actually does stimulate Ida and Pingala, which means that you're actually stimulating both sides or both hemispheres of the brain. Normally, during the day, what we do, we alternate between one or the other. So with the practice of alternate nostril breathing, you're actually activating both and working both at the same time. And then after that, we then go into awakening the chakras. Now, with awakening the chakras, we're going to take a month for each one. I don't want you to rush it. If you are going to do the program, I don't want you to rush it at all. I'm assigning a month for each chakra. If it takes you longer, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Just carry on until you find you are ready to move on to the next one. But with the awakening of the chakras, we're going to start with Ajna, the third eye, and then we go into Muladhara, the root, and we start moving up. The reason for this is that when we awaken Ajna, we become objective. Our views become objective. We see things as the observer instead of the participant, and it makes it a lot easier for you to start then awakening the lower chakras, because when you're awakening the lower chakras, there's a lot of emotions that come up. There's a lot of feelings. There's a lot of desires. You may actually come up with a lot of guilt, a lot of anger, things like that, that have been sitting there for years and have just been pushed back. So with that, you want to have an objective view and just realize that it's part of the practice, it's part of the process. You are going to get through it, and you then are able to objectively view it and view it as the observer, and it doesn't affect you as much as it would if you weren't prepared for it. So that's why we start with the third eye, and then we move down, and then we just move up chakra to chakra. Once you're ready for the next one, the energy starts to move up Sushumna, and it progressively, slowly moves up Sushumna to Kundalini energy, the Shakti energy. And then we come into uniting all of the channels into the third eye. We connect Bindu, and then we unite Shakti and Shiva energies and reach Samadhi. And that's the whole purpose and aim for the awakening program. So if you do want to go deep into becoming enlightened, let's put it that way, then have a look at the program. You might find it useful. Regards to this channel, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull back slightly. I'm going to do only one video a week, which will be on a Wednesday. The reason for that is that I need to actually focus a lot more on the awakening program and my other businesses. So that's gonna, so I'm just going to do one video a week. Oh, and next time you see me, well, not next time, I'm going to pre-record next week's video, but the one after that, it'll be a completely different scene because I am moving on Friday. Well, actually, if you're watching this on Friday, then I've already moved. So I'm pre-recording this because I won't be able to do anything on Friday. So I'm moving house, and so we'll have a completely different view from after next week. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the Magical Foundation series. Go check out my site, leewjohnson.com. I'd love to have you on the free meditations just to see people there. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, cheers.